Well, good morning and welcome to the show. Jeff Beals here at your service, broadcasting live from the KFAB Penthouse Studio high above Underwood Avenue. This show is brought to you by NAI, NP Dodge, and D&M Roofing. Without any further ado, it's time to introduce my co-host, a man we like to refer to as a legendary real estate deal maker, Trenton Magid.
You shouldn't laugh at that. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning. You are legendary, and you are a real estate deal maker.
I've been doing it for 28 years, and it's been a pleasure with all the people I work with, you included, of course, and our fair city, Omaha, and surrounding communities. Makes it all worth it.
That's right. And speaking of our fair city, we've got news about it, and we're going to go straight into that. And that's our economic development news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. They know mortgages. And it's a busy time of year that is staring us right in the face, because right about now is when people start to go crazy looking for new houses. Springtime, right? That's when we want to get new houses. Last few days, today accepted, but last few days have been very spring-like. And so people are going to go out there and start looking. If that might be you, get a pre-approval letter from Eagle Mortgage. I don't care whether you're going to go conventional, VA, FHA, they do all of that. Get a pre-approval letter, because chances are the home buying game is going to be competitive again this year. We got a lot of people coming in from California and Seattle, Chicago, the East Coast. They're coming in with a lot of cash from when they sell their houses there. And then we've got all the local people that are looking to move or move up or do something new. It's going to be competitive. Get a pre-approval letter.
Even if it's not, Jeff, even if it's not competitive, if you have a pre-approval letter from Eagle Mortgage, the seller takes you seriously, and they may give you a better price.
That's a good point.
If they have a certainty of closing, it's a lot easier for everybody.
And we always want to be taken seriously. So you can find them online at eaglemortgagecompany.com or in person at 114th and Davenport. Well, Trenton, first of all, we want to share some national real estate news from our friends at CoStar. CoStar is a real estate data company, and they always give us a lot of content that we can share with you. And it's interesting, they had an article this week on CoStar.com about Amazon. And, of course, everyone talks about Amazon growing, right? But get a load of this. They might be shrinking in one way because the article says Amazon is betting on groceries and apparel, not books and gadgets, for its future brick and mortar retail space, deciding to pull the plug on several dozen stores representing 3 chains. And those chains are Amazon 4-star, Amazon pop-up, and Amazon book locations. There's 68 of these locations. We don't have any of them in Omaha, to my knowledge, but I have seen them in other retail centers. And so the thought is, hey, Amazon maybe can't do everything.
They do almost everything, but these Amazon style, they're going to come out with clothing, bricks and mortar clothing stores with latest technology, however that works, and for fitting and that kind of stuff. But Amazon style, we'll have to look for that. And then they have these full service grocery stores. In addition to owning Whole Foods, they will have the Amazon supermarkets.
Yeah, so they're taking over the world, but every once in a while they take a step back. That said, hey, we love Amazon.
They'll be okay.
The Omaha Planning Board took some big steps this week. And Trenton, this is what's going to fill the rest of our newscast here for your development news of the week, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage. This is big stuff. The Omaha Planning Board has approved 2 initial steps for the development of the modern streetcar and the very exciting Mutual of Omaha downtown skyscraper. So this was unanimous. The board approved first something that was called the Urban Core Housing and Mobility Redevelopment Plan. A mouthful, but it focuses on 3 significant areas: transit and mobility improvements, affordable housing, and job growth. This redevelopment plan has boundaries identified as the Missouri River on the east, 50th Street to the west, from Woolworth up north to Cumming. Now, this plan notes the need for affordable and workforce housing. It includes the goal of adding 1,000 new units of affordable and workhouse housing in that geographic area over the next 20 years, and it also recommends reducing surface parking to create additional development sites, which we love that. Now, in addition to that, The planning board also approved Mutual of Omaha's tax increment financing application for the downtown headquarters. As we've said in the past, this is an 800,000 square foot building. It's going to be somewhere between 40 and 50 stories sitting on the side of the library.
About $435 million.
Yep. And of that, they are asking the city for $62 million in TIF. The planning board approved that. It still has to go to the city council in April for final approval, which it certainly will, one would hope, because that's one of the greatest things that has ever happened to our city. So then the streetcar construction financing plan is going to also be TIF related, funding $356 million, which is greater than the $306 million estimated cost of the construction. As Mayor Stothert said last week on our show, they have a contingency plan to cover all of that. And so this is very exciting. These were very important steps that had to take place to keep these projects on time. A lot of people are saying, well, you're not going to be done till January of 26. So much has to happen in order for us to hit that date.
Yeah, you got planning, approvals, planning, design, construction, a lot of other things that happen. But there's also a 30-30-30 plan with the Urban Core Group, which is 30,000 new residents, 30,000 was it 30,000 new jobs or 30, and then there's by 2030.
Wow. I like the 30-30-30 play, but more importantly, I like that. I love the idea of 30,000 new residents in that urban core. That is the part of town where you want density. I mean, we've got the car infrastructure already in place to handle a lot more density. We've got Orbit in place, which is handling more density. We've got the streetcar coming. We've been working on pedestrian and bike friendliness in that area. We're building private development projects that are built up to the streets, urban style. We're putting a lot of people per acre in that part of town. It's designed for it.
Either grow or decay, right?
That's right. In fact, it's interesting because a lot of people say, well, won't the traffic get terrible in downtown? Downtown was built for this. And have you ever noticed a lot of times when you drive that downtown, midtown area, there'll be a lot of activity going on, but hardly any cars?
Yeah, well, that's what this show was made for starting 18 years ago. Instead of Grow Omaha, we didn't make it Static Omaha.
That's right. We did not make it Shrinking Omaha. So another thing kind of related to this that people will find interesting. I was walking downtown after a meeting early this week. It was one of those days where it was 70 degrees or something like that. It was great. Took about a 45-minute walk downtown, and I walked over to 1401 Jones Street as part of my walk. And what did I find but fencing around that historic building, which means renovations are starting on that historic building, which will make way for the new downtown branch of the Omaha Public Library, 30,000 feet in a really cool historic building that's going to be made to look beautiful. Will really bring that 1401 Jones Street intersection to life and create a lot of activity. And that once that's up and running, we can go and tear down that hideously ugly, brutalist 1977 concrete prison of a current library that we have.
But other than that, you like it, right?
Other than that, I like it. And that is your news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com, where they know mortgages. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a show you're going to enjoy because if you are like Trenton and me, and we know that many of you are, you like food. And once every quarter, we bring on Stacy Winters. He is the founder of Omaha Food Lovers Group. And Stacy is going to do what he always does when he's here. We're talking restaurants. We're talking about new restaurants. We're talking about restaurant opinions. We are going to make you hungry. So don't go away. You're listening to Jeff and Trenton on Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing and NAI NP Dodge on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals sitting next to Trenton Magid from NAI NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate. We're also brought to you by D&M Roofing, Omaha's premier commercial and residential roofing contractor, offering a preventative maintenance program for commercial buildings, which is the best in the business. Saves landlords incredible amounts of money in many cases. Look them up at dndmroofing.com. Well, we always bring on Stacy Winters every quarter. reporter. He is the founder of Omaha Food Lovers to talk all things food and restaurants. Stacy, good morning. Welcome back.
Morning. Thanks for having me, Jeff. Trenton, it's good to be here.
Well, I'm already starting to warm up the hunger pangs because every time we get done with this discussion, I have to go out and eat 5,000 calories just to satiate everything.
This is like the fifth time you've been on here and still no samples.
Well, I don't cook. I cook at home.
You don't know in the restaurants.
I don't in the restaurants. Yeah. Exactly.
Next time you're going to bring leftovers, I can just see it now.
In little Tupperware containers.
Right.
Well, Stacy, first of all, just so for people that haven't heard you before, Omaha Food Lovers is a group on Facebook that you started a couple of years ago to advocate for Omaha's great culinary scene. What are you up to, like 75,000 members?
75.5 thousand now. So, yeah.
70.
Holistically growing, ladies and gentlemen, over to almost 3 years.
We're still growing. Yeah, it'll be 3 years in August. So 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're still growing pretty rapidly. So it's good. It's good.
Well, I'm on there every day because I'm always looking for restaurant information. And, sometimes people will announce a new restaurant like we like to do on Grow Omaha, and we will announce a few later today. But then a lot of times people will say, hey, who has any advice about the best place to get X because my husband, my wife, my best friend wants to try, or is coming into town.
Where can I get a king cake for Mardi Gras? Something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
You have the best of the best coming out. Are people still voting?
So we are going to we did it last year, and we're starting the polls on Monday, actually. We'll start releasing kind of the best of the OFL polls, and we'll try to run those through the end of March. So be on the lookout. I think we'll probably we had like 65 or so last year. I think we'll probably have closer to 80. So we're adding some polls into this. So the polls are nice for, you can go out and search, for the group. And we typically do a topic tag, which is, in a Facebook group. So that people can easily find those when they want, the best Reuben, the best pork tenderloin, whatever they're looking for, right? So there's an easy way to find those.
But you can see last year's poll. And so if you're looking for somewhere to go tonight or tomorrow, whenever, you can get on there and on the topic tag, just put in best, or what do you put
Best
on?
of the OFL. It's also under the featured posts in the group. So we have a great spreadsheet that we assembled that kind of has the top 5 in every category. And then we did a top 25 favorite restaurants. So it's a great source for a lot of people, especially like people that are moving to the area. We get that. A lot of people looking for just places to go or traveling to the area. We get a lot of people joining the group just for research on when they're traveling to Omaha.
I got to believe that you and your colleagues have caused other cities to follow suit.
I don't know so much. I mean, I think every city has kind of these kind of Facebook groups. I think
but not this big.
Yeah, not this big. I think when we started, I was in Kansas City and Des Moines Facebook groups, and they were, I think at the time, about 45 and 39,000, Des Moines and Kansas City. And now we're substantially larger than those groups. So, yeah.
Well, Omahans love their food. There's no doubt
true.
about it.
Very true.
This city, every city loves restaurants, but there's something about this town where restaurants are particularly
popular. They rally
popular.
around their local restaurants.
Even when we get professional sports, we'll still love our food.
Amen that. Last time when we had you on the show, Stacy, you were just launching a brand new app.
Correct.
How's that coming along?
It's good. We actually launched kind of our beta version towards the end of January. So we've been running kind of a beta version through the end of March. So if anybody wants to sign up for it, they can get it for free until the end of March. If you sign up, you go to foodlovers.co. You can get the link to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. And you can, when you log in, if you put in the promo code of BETA, B-E-T-A, you can get it for free until the end of March. Right now, we have about 240 locations on the app. In most situations, one use of the app, pays for itself. So it's doing really, really well.
How does it pay for itself?
So you get like those 240 different locations offer up whatever deal they want to put on there. There's no charge to the restaurants to be part of the app. So they list whatever they think was a good deal for them that would draw business into them. And then the users pay $4.99 after April 1st. If you sign up now, you get it for free with the beta promo code. But yeah, so the businesses, it's a good way for them to get a lot of new people to come in and check out their restaurant. I've talked to some people that are like, we just go straight to the app and look for places on there, and then I haven't been to the same place twice. I'm like, these are all new places to me that we're checking out. So I think that's really, really a positive. So.
And then, Stacy, I think I heard something or saw something about you being a celebrity guest at some event recently, or you were involved in something. You know, people throw your name around now.
No, I wasn't a celebrity guest. I was. We attended the Celebrity Chef on behalf of the Food Bank for the Heartland, which was a great event. If it was my first time attending, they've been doing it for years. It's their largest fundraiser. Our group this last December raised over $104,000 for the Food
commendable.
Bank, which was then matched by the Shine the Light on Hunger campaign that was through ConAgra and Bakers and Spreetail. So we ended up raising about $208,000, which accounted for 415,000 meals,
Jeez.
which as a group is pretty cool. We had 1,800 donors out of our group that donated money. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, I got invited to go to as kind of a thank you, got invited to go to this event with Chef Richard Blais, who's from Top Chef fame. He won the Top Chef All-Stars. He's been on several shows on Food Network. He's on one of the shows with Gordon Ramsay on Fox. And so, yeah, it was fun. It was a good event.
It's amazing because every time I go to a restaurant that's hard to get into, I just use Stacy Winters as my name. And they're always like, "Where's Stacy?" I'm like, "Oh, he's coming."
That's Abe Froman, the sausage king of Chicago. Stacy, before the show started, you were mentioning you said you wanted to mention an event going on at Horseman's Park or coming up at Horseman's Park.
Yeah, I just know that this city loves, I think there's a lot of people that really miss the Bohemian Cafe. So
Me included.
Whenever there's like an event that comes out where they're doing, that type of food, that Czech kind of food, it's one you want to get that word out because people are like, oh, how'd I miss that? So, Horseman's Park today at 11, I guess they're doing their kind of the Bohemian lunch that they do with like pork loin, sauerkraut, dumplings, all of that is their special today. So yeah, I think it'd be a great time to check that out. I've heard they do a really good job on that meal too. So it's not an every week offering. So when you see it, it's one of those I think you need to go check out.
Dumplings and kraut today. Remember that jingle?
No.
At Bohemian Cafe. Oh, yes,
not
you
like
do.
that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I sing it better than they did.
That must predate my time in Omaha.
That would. That was, in fact, back in the 80s, Roger Olson, I'm sure, remembers it, but back in the 80s, during Husker football radio broadcasts on KFAB, there would always be like, dumplings and kraut today.
Are you going to break into the Great Wall commercial that was always at the movie theaters?
How does that one go?
Center.
I don't remember that one.
I've been trying to forget it the whole time.
Well, in that case, Stacy, one of the favorite things we like to ask you, and what everyone's waiting for, places, restaurants you have visited since the last time you were with us.
Right. So I think the one that, several of them, my son and I did a little breakfast tour too over like Christmas break holidays. So that was fun. But I think most recent, my wife and I, just this last week went to, it's called QS Grill Steak. And it's off 168th and Harrison. It's they feature Nicaraguan food and a little bit of El Salvadorian kind of food there too.
Southwest corner of 168th and Harrison, right?
Yeah, it's attached to the gas station there because great food is found in gas stations. That's like all across the country. I've found that
there is a demising wall, ladies and gentlemen.
But they do like crazy. Cheap and good. They do this like you can get steak, chicken, pork with rice and beans, either the sweet plantains or the plantain chips, and kind of a little salad, coleslaw type thing. It was $10.99. And the one thing you also need to add to your meal is the fried cheese. They do a slice of fried cheese, which I didn't realize that was a thing in Nicaragua, but I was talking to the owner. They're very, 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 very nice. And that was like something he said is a staple. He said you go on any street there and you'll find this meal that we were eating there. And again, reasonable, really, really friendly. But yeah, I like that we're getting more of those kind of restaurants, out west, because I think there's the stereotype is that there's not that kind of that ethnic type food out west, and it's definitely happening. Even on that particular corner, you have El Alambre right there as well, which is doing street tacos and sopes, and it's the same family kind of relationship to Taqueria Tijuana if you're familiar in South O. So very, very similar food and some of the best asada you'll have in the city. Restaurant
geography is pretty impressive. So that's QS Steak Grill
Steak. Yep.
Yeah, and you're welcome from Omaha Food Lovers Head.
Another place that we checked out, and it's been there forever, is Wong's Hunan Garden, which is off 108th and Q, kind of right just north of 108th and Q. It's I think most people assume it's just a Chinese restaurant, but it has a really, really good Korean menu. So they had the bibimbap that was there. We tried that, kind of in the stone bowl. So they have a kind of a really great menu. They also have a drive-through, which is really cool. So a lot of people, if you're wanting kind of that kind of food, but you don't want to eat it there, they have the drive-through there. That was cool. Hip Bow. I don't think I'd been there the last time we talked.
They have a new owner. I did that lease, and it's 84th and Frederick Square, over by Jimmy John's and Shopko Optical. I haven't been to the new one.
It's really, really good. I think when they were first open, I'd seen very mixed reviews.
Yes.
But I would say we started going there, I think, in December, or trying it out, and we've been 3 times, I think, at this point. But they have steam fried dumplings, which I get the steam fried dumplings. They're really, really good. And then my wife is kind of obsessed with all things noodles lately, so that's kind of her. Ramen, pho, noodle soup, any kind. They have a beef noodle soup there that I would highly recommend trying.
Can't wait to try it again.
Really good. So
Hip Bow.
It's very, most of these places, right? QS Grill and Hip Bow, these places are very, sparse. There's not you're not going for the environment or the atmosphere, that's kind of a secondary thought with these places, but the food is excellent.
And in the spirit of old time radio, we're going to leave you in suspense for this next break, because when we come back from our middle of the show news break, Stacy's going to tell us more places that he's tried lately. And then before we let him go, we're going to have him tell us the best places, in his opinion, to get Reubens in Omaha. So don't go away. More food talk. You'll get even hungrier. And you're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing and NAINP Dodge on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid on Grow Omaha, brought to you by NAINP Dodge and D&M Roofing. And this is your commercial real estate development spotlight, brought to you by Noddle Companies. Noddle Companies is an Omaha-based real estate developer operating in multiple states, but they're based, as I said, right here. And some of their big projects are Exarban Village. We've got Builders District downtown, Steel Ridge in the Papillion/Gretna area. We've got the Village Point Medical Campus. We could go on and on.
They're heavily involved in First National Bank Campus and Bank of the West, formerly Commercial Federal Bank Campus, way back in the day.
And they have a new development coming to 180th and Dodge. It's on the southwest corner. Going to be some really impressive stuff. In fact, next week, Trenton and I are meeting with executives from Noddle Companies. And the purpose of the meeting is to find out a whole bunch of new things that are coming to Noddle developments. Recently, we told you in Exarban Village, one of the developments they planned, a store called Fleet Feet will be coming to that area, which is a real nice athletic footwear and apparel store. Another location at 176th and Center, original one in Lincoln, Nebraska. So keep an eye out for that, because we're going to have some big announcements over the next couple of weeks. And if you missed it a couple of weeks before that, Trenton talked about a Menards store going to Steel Ridge. That is near Interstate 80 and Highway 370, which will really make a big difference in that area. I know I might frequent that one. That's not horribly far from where we live.
Yeah, they'll have some other retailers and service providers in front of those car dealerships. H&H has a huge presence there. Baxter Auto has a huge presence. It's right across from 88 Tactical, the gun club.
And if you want to learn more about Noddle Companies, just go to noddlecompanies.com. Well, we have Stacy Winters with us. He is the founder of Omaha Food Lovers, a group that's really making a huge impact on the culinary and entertainment scene here in the metro area. And Stacy, before we stopped for the break, we were right in the middle of places you have visited since the last time you were on the show.
Yeah, so there's been a few. We've done a few kind of one thing that's been kind of neat to see in the group is a lot of people going to little, like, small towns around the Omaha area to check out different restaurants. So one place we went to was the Twisted Tail in Beebeetown. Really, really popular if you go there on a Saturday night.
Beebeetown, Iowa. How far is that?
I think it's about 30, 40 miles, something like that, somewhere around that.
I think it's technically part of the metro area.
Yeah, it's not very far. So, it took us about 40 minutes from West Omaha to get there. So it wasn't very far to get there, but they do like a smoked prime rib on their Saturday night. So it's really good. I think we actually like their filet even better than their smoked prime rib. So that's just a fun kind of short trip to make. We went to the Davie Tavern in Davie, Nebraska, which is just south of Wahoo. It's pizza. That's what they serve. It's a town of like 50, kind of between Lincoln and Wahoo. So that was a nice little 45-minute road trip to go have some unique pizza.
What makes it unique?
It's just a kind of a heavy loaded,
Thin crust or thick crust?
I would say kind of that in between.
Okay.
Not really either. I always get my pizza cooked well done. So just a
Wow.
tip. You always ask for well done to get that nice crispy crust. So, and then I think we talked about it previously, but Sauce by Alfaro in Louisville is, it's probably at this point probably the most current buzz, I would say, restaurants in the group. And they only are carry out, but you can go to Good Time Saloon next door and call it in and have them deliver it to your table. So it's been really, really popular. I know, on certain Friday, Saturday nights, it's been 2-hour waits. And it's, kind of hard to get through. So you got to be patient.
Especially tonight after we just announced that.
It's like when you're, remember back in the day when you'd like try to call Ticketmaster, get through, or try to call the radio, try to get through. That's what it's like.
Or get an AOL account.
People are like 45 minutes trying to call through on the phones. They only have a couple of lines, to get through. But, people are ordering it before like they leave Omaha and say, hey, I'm going to be, coming down there. I'll be there at 6 o'clock, and can we have it ready then and deliver it to this Good Time Saloon? So, Chef Alfaro is doing some really, really cool stuff. I definitely would follow their Facebook page. The pictures that they post and the food that they're doing there is pretty awesome. I think one more kind of new place. I have not been yet, but there's a new Indian restaurant that's kind of getting a lot of buzz in the group called Star India. It's off of 132nd and Center, where Pepper Jacks used to be over there. Kanara, I think everybody's kind of now get familiar with Kanara, or if they're not, they should be. But that's kind of been, it's good, but the most popular Indian restaurant in the last year or so. But this Star India just opened up within the last month. So I plan to go there soon, but the reviews have been fantastic for the Star India. So,
well, Trenton, that one would be not terribly far from our office. We should go there for lunch sometime, assuming they're open for lunch.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be great. Well, Stacy,
I can tell. My go-to place now and I'm trying to be healthy is Crisp and Green at 80th and Dodge.
Oh, yeah.
Have you been to Crisp and Green?
I have been. Yeah.
I saw you there at the opening. I don't know. They just do a good job. They do a lot of smoothies and salads and bowls and stuff. And there's a big menu. I tried. They have a drive-through. So Crisp and Green's pretty good.
They're on the Food Lovers app too, by the way.
Excellent.
Very good. Yeah. Stacy, before we let you go, it's almost St. Patrick's Day, corned beef and cabbage time. Let's talk about best Reubens in the metro area.
Yeah. So there's two lines of thought when it comes to Reubens, right? It's either the shredded or corned beef, or you have the sliced corned beef. So I lean more towards the shredded, so my favorites in town would be probably Sean O'Casey's. It's kind of off 140th and Center. They do what's kind of a double-decker Reuben, so it's kind of like a club sandwich almost, but with a Reuben.
Primo 140, I think, back in the day.
Yeah, it did. It's but their Reuben is really, really good. Obviously, Crescent Moon I think is kind of a staple. When it comes to the shredded corned beef. But if you're kind of in that sliced corned beef, if that's your preference, I would say Barrett's. I would put three places: Barrett's, I would put Patty McGowan's, and I would put Finicky Frank's. Are all kind of in that sliced corned beef category.
Now, I've never heard of Finicky Frank's. What's that, and where is it?
Finicky Frank's is up off Chalco Hills, or no, Ponca.
Oh, Ponca. Yep.
Sorry, wrong direction. Ponca, yeah, kind of up off of north of the 680 and 30th up there.
Oh, is it by the gas station? Another one of those?
It's in the strip with a gas station. Yep.
Didn't that used to be a Cajun restaurant years ago?
That used to be my favorite restaurant. It's called Mother's.
Yeah.
I love that.
It was really, really good. But yeah, Finicky Frank's is really good. They have really good onion rings, French fries, all homemade. Saturday nights they do a family style fried chicken dinner. So they bring out all the fried chicken and then all mashed potatoes and cream corn and all the homemade biscuits, and it's kind of like just a family style dinner. So that's one though. If you go there on a Saturday night, you need to get there fairly early so they sell out.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, Stacy, we always enjoy talking food with you, and we're going to do it again next quarter, all right?
All right, sounds good.
Okay, any parting shots?
No, I thanks for having me on here, and I hope everyone has a happy St. Patty's Day, and we go out and drink some green beer and some corned beef and cabbage.
Got to have your corned beef and cabbage.
For those people that don't go to our YouTube channel, which you should, Stacy Winters, head of Omaha Food Lovers, is a svelte, strong guy. And he talks like he eats 16 meals a day, and it doesn't show. So,
but if you work out enough like he does, you can do it. Yeah. So, and if you haven't joined Omaha Food Lovers, just go to Facebook, put it in your search blank there. It'll pop up, and you can put your name in and apply to be a member.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. That was Stacy Winters, head of Omaha Food Lovers, going to take our final break of the show. When we come back, it is the lightning round by Turner Construction. And in keeping with the theme of today's show, I've got probably about 6 different food or drink places among the news items on the docket. So stay with us. You're listening to Jeff and Trenton on Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing and NAI NP Dodge on News Radio 1110 KFAV. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid with you. And it is time for the lightning round, which is brought to you by Turner Construction. Turner Construction is making a huge difference in Omaha's built environment. A lot of people know them locally because they're doing the, incredibly large Sarpy County data center on Highway 50 and Cape Hart Road. But they do a lot more, a lot of smaller projects.
They're everything in the construction space.
Yeah, and they also do a really good job with staff members. They're developing the workforce. So I know a lot of you out there are in construction. You're thinking about construction. It's a great place to work, and they take really good care of employees that are motivated. So if you're looking for a good team, that's a good place to be. And if you're looking for a good contractor, they've got a motivated team that really works hard and puts clients' interest first. So think about Turner Construction if you're looking for a place to work and if you are looking for a contractor to do your project. Well, let's get into some of this news that we have. We have a few construction projects to go over with you. First of all, construction is now underway on a new children's medical clinic near 200th and West Maple Road. Construction has also started on a 2-story, 15,000 square foot real estate company office building at 205th and Veterans Drive in the Elkhorn area. That whole stretch of Elkhorn, Trenton, a lot going on. There's been a bank building there.
McDonald's.
There's some McDonald's recently opened. There's a new Chipotle on that stretch. There's some new multifamily housing. That 204th there north of Dodge is really, really popping.
Yeah, it's all the way to Maple.
And then in front of the Hy-Vee grocery store near 180th and Pacific, construction is coming along quite nicely on a 2-story, 12,700 square foot multi-tenant building. The pad sites around that Hy-Vee are starting to fill in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that area is looking good now. That area is looking. It's always looked good, but it's like you said, filling in. And then we have a bunch of restaurant and food and beverage news for you as well, in keeping with the theme of the show earlier. First of all, Get Real Sandwiches has opened at 3901 Farnham Street next to Butterfish in the Blackstone district. As the name would indicate, the restaurant serves sandwiches, but they also have salads, soups, appetizers, and beer and cocktails, part of that blowing up Blackstone area.
Anybody that thought that the restaurant industry was slowed down by the pandemic, I don't know where they're getting their help, but restaurants just keep on opening.
Well, the staffing shortage is getting a little bit better. In fact, I've read a couple articles that have said one of the only good things that has come out of this inflationary environment is that some people who stopped out of the workforce at the pandemic are really being compelled to come back in because everything's so damn expensive.
Right.
They don't, they were okay financially before, but with the prices going up, they're like, probably better get back to work. And so that, I think, has helped restaurants somewhat, although we still have a long ways to go with the staffing issues. Also, in that Blackstone area, construction is coming along nicely on a 2-story building near Get Real Sandwiches that will have a couple of food and beverage businesses in it. And also there was news just this week that progress is being made on that 9-story multi-use building by the Blackstone Hotel, Cottonwood Kimpton Hotel, that will also probably, I wouldn't be surprised, have a restaurant or two in it. Good Evans is now open in a former Pepper Jack's Bay at 74th and Pacific. Now, here's an interesting one. I don't know how you pronounce it necessarily, but it's CTRL. Would that be Central, perhaps? Sure. CTRL Coffee and Cereal Bar. Plans to open soon in the Old Market, 1016 South 10th Street. And this is kind of cool. This is a quote from CTRL Coffee and Cereal Bar's Facebook page. It'll feature Meta Coffee Lab coffee, a full-blown cereal bar, and a retro gaming console at every table.
Interesting.
That would kind of now when I was a kid, and it was the same time you were a kid, because Trent and I are the same age. Everyone ate cereal for breakfast anymore.
Played Atari.
My kids don't eat cereal ever.
And television. You know, I don't know if a restaurant's a good idea to put gaming consoles that, you know, people never leave.
Yeah, you don't turn over the table if the games are too fun. Juice Stop has opened its 6th metro area location last week at 716 North Washington Street in Papillion. New store is drive-through only. It's in a freestanding building, but that'll be fun. Hiring is underway for a Voodoo Taco location in the former Jones Brothers building near 180th and West Center Road.
That was a long time coming.
And then one of your favorite restaurants, actually, I think we mentioned this last week, but what the heck, we'll do it again. Hiring is underway for Mouth of the South in the old Chicago space in the Old Market.
Yeah. Cutchall Restaurant Group or Cutchall Management Company. That's a great concept. I'm excited. It'll be right next to Jams.
And it's too bad we still do have Stacy Winters here. Stacy, get back on the microphone here for a minute. Welcome back to the show.
All right.
Okay, we have Lumen Beer Company, a new craft brewery at 1433 South 13th Street, South Omaha. Really cool stuff. The beer scene continues to make people really happy in this town.
Yeah, there's a lot of local breweries that have been opening up. Lumen just opened up, or they're only doing carry out at this point.
Right.
They've not opened up for to go in there yet. But yeah, a lot of tap houses are coming. I've heard of a couple of other ones. I can't really say at this point, but I've heard of a couple of other ones. So yeah, there's especially like that Southwest Omaha area where you have like Cross Strain, you have Pint 9, you have Lucky Bucket, you have Infusion, you have Nebraska Brewing. They kind of have that whole little area down there. So there's a lot of great breweries.
Beer District.
I'm a big fan of Jukes out in Elkhorn too.
Oh yeah,
their food and the beer and everything is a really good. That was a great addition to downtown Elkhorn.
I think I saw on Omaha Food Lovers just recently you had a Jukes Ale House related post.
Yeah, I did. We actually went there this week. They have a really good wedge salad. If you like wedge salad,
that's what it was.
Yeah, they have a really good wedge salad, and their salted caramel wings are always a must when you go there. Yeah, it sounds really unusual, but they're really, really good.
Now I've only been there one time, and I only had the beer, but it was very good. I got to go back for the food. Stacy, thanks for your reprise.
All right,
all right. That's it for this week. I'm Jeff Beals,
and I'm Trenton Magid.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing, NAI, NP Dodge, and Turner Construction. We will chat with you again next week at 9 o'clock right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB. If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.